have studied about the central nervous system. In the central nervous system, the brain and the spinal cord is the part of central nervous system. In that, you have studied the structure of the brain, parts of the brain, and the functions of the different regions, different parts, and their functions. You have studied it. Then, today you have to study the spinal cord. You know, the spinal cord, the brain is like this, and from that the cord-like structure is appear. This structure is called as a spinal cord. Means from the medulla oblongata, the behind it the nerve cord appears. These are called as the spinal cord. The spinal brain, brain is covered with the bony covering called as the cranium. Like that, the spinal cord is also covered with a protective covering, bony covering of the vertebrae. From the vertebra, the 33 vertebrae are present. In that, the neural canal is present. Through that neural canal, the spinal cord gate passes. Spinal cord gate passes. Then, also inside the cranium or bony covering, the protective membranes are present. These protective membranes are called as meninges. 3 layers are present. Outermost is called as a dura mater, middle is a arachnoid mater, and innermost is called as a pia mater. 3 protective layers are present, membranes are present, and in between these dura mater and pia mater, in between the dura mater and arachnoid mater, the sub-arachnoid space is present. In between the arachnoid mater and pia mater, the space is present is called as a subdural space, and this space is filled with a fluid called as a cerebrospinal fluid. This fluid is called as a cerebrospinal fluid. Short form cerebrospinal fluid. CSF, cerebrospinal fluid. And it protects the spinal cord as well as the brain. Then, the brain is hollow one. This hollow cavity, here the lateral ventricles, here the cavity is present, and this cavity is present here, and it continues through the spinal cord also. Means, inside the spinal cord, the central cavity is present, is called as the central canal. It is called as a central canal, and these also filled with the fluid called as a cerebrospinal fluid. The cerebrospinal fluid is like that of the plasma, serum, lymph, like that, and it supplies the nourishment, oxygen, and so on. The posterior region of the brain is called as a medulla oblongata. Behind this, spinal cord is present. And from that spinal cord, the nerve are. This spinal cord passes through the neural canal. In between the vertebrae chain of vertebrae is present. In that the cavity is present. It is continuous one. Through that the spinal cord passes. And this spinal cord having is tapering from the medulla oblongata, and it goes on reducing towards the posterior region, and on these 2 swellings are present. These are called as a cervical swellings and lumbar swellings. Ganglion means from that the nerve goes to the limbs, forelimbs and the hind limbs. This is the structure of the spinal cord. Then the spinal cord is the highway. Spinal cord is the highway of message. Means from the any organ, the sense of touch or any temperature, light, and any one this sensation is received by the sensory nerve, sensory organs. From that sensory organ, it carries towards the sensory nerve to the spinal cord. Through the spinal cord, immediately carried towards the brain. Means the spinal cord is the highway for the passage of the impulse, nerve impulse. Message is immediately passes through that, so it is a highway. Then see the tiers of spinal cord. In the tiers of spinal cord, the spinal cord is like this in a transverse section. Around this, the bony covering is present of the, like this, bony covering is present. Means these are the neural canal of the spinal vertebrae of the vertebrae. Then inside these three membranes are present here: dura mater, pia mater, arachnoid mater. Means around these three membranes are present, like this, and in between these space is present. It is filled with the cerebrospinal fluid. Then here the central canal is present. Then here the three horns are present. This is the dorsal horn. Horn arises from the dorsal root. This is the lateral horn. This is the ventral root. Ventral horn. Then this one is the central canal. Central canal. Then in the brain outermost region is the of a gray matter. Gray means here the many melanocyte pigment is present, and due to that melanin is a black colored pigment and white colored nerve. Due to that the gray color appears in the brain. In the transverse section of the brain, outer region is of a gray matter, inner region of a white matter. Inner region is of a white matter. Here in the nerve, gray matter is inside and white matter is outside. This is the gray matter. And this one is the white matter. Here, the gray matter is a H-shaped structure. It looks like a H. Gray matter is a H-shaped structure. The nerve cells. Nerve cells are star-shaped like this. Like this, unipolar, multipolar, and so on. Like this. This is the cyton, and this is the axon. This is the cell region. It is called as the cyton. These are small fibers are called as a dendron. In the gray matter, cyton is present, and white matter contains the axon. Axon and dendron is present. Means nerve fibers. Indirectly, the nerve fibers is of white matter. In the white matter, the nerve fibers are present, and due to that, it looks like a white. Cyton contains the nasal granules. It contains nasal granules, and due to that, it looks like a gray in color. In the gray matter, cyton is present, and in the white matter, axon and dendron is present. Then the spinal cord at least. This is the spinal nerve. This is the spinal nerve. It appears, means in between the two vertebrae, small gap is present. Suppose this is the vertebral column, पाठीचा काना म्हणतो आपण. It having half moon shaped structure. This is the another vertebra having the half moon, and due to that form the cavity opening. Through that, the vertebrae are like they are arranged in a one above other like this. Spinal cord passes through this opening. Through this opening, come outside, means in the vertebral column, spinal cord is present, and from the spinal cord, spinal nerves are arises. These are the spinal nerves. From that, dorsal horn and ventral horn, the spinal nerves are formed. In that spinal nerves, the sensory neuron is present. Here the adjustor neuron is present, and the effector neuron is present. Means three types of the neurons are present into the spinal nerves. Sensory neuron receives the sense from the stimulus. It receives the sense from the stimulus. Adjustor neuron take the decision on this stimulus. Effector neuron carry out the effect, function, or working is carried out. For example, pin prickle. Suppose this is the skin. Here the pin prickle is off. The sensory neuron carries the message towards the spinal cord. Spinal cord, adjustor neuron take the decision on it. It gives the message to the muscles to withdraw the hand from them. When you are touching to the hot object, sensory neuron carries the message towards the spinal cord. Adjustor neuron takes the decision to remove the hand from that hot object. It gives the effect to the effector neuron. The muscle contracts and hand is withdrawn from that object. In this way, the function is carried out. These are the autonomous nervous system. The function of autonomous nervous system. Some decision is taken inside the spinal cord also, without giving the message or without a decision of the brain. Some decision is taken into the spinal cord also. Some decision is also taken into the spinal cord. This decision is called as this impulse, this action is called as autonomous action of the autonomous nervous system. This is the